A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I want A+. English, that's so much fun. English education for you and everyone, so come along. Learn some grammar, learn a phrase, learn something new every day. Learn the A+ way. Hey, it's time to start the show. Are you ready? Good, 'cause here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I want A+ English.
Hello everyone, welcome to A+ English. I'm Mike.
And I'm Laura.
And we're talking about...
breakfast. I ate breakfast
You did.
today.
High five. I'm so proud of you. What did you have? Did you go to your favorite place or did you make it at home?
I had a sunny side up.
Egg.
Yeah, that's
I'm assuming you mean an egg.
Yeah,
okay.
an egg.
And
That's
did you make this by yourself?
Yeah, I did.
So wait, I'm just trying to picture this. You had one sad egg sitting in your plate and you just ate that?
Because I didn't have toast at home. I wanted to get some bread. Yeah, and
Did you have some bacon with your egg?
There was nothing in my fridge.
Please
so
tell me you put some salt and pepper on the egg.
I had ketchup.
Okay, I think you should have gone to
breakfast?
the restaurant
对，我应
again.
该要去早餐店的啦。
Buy the breakfast, get the bread, and then use that tomorrow with your egg at
Okay.
home. There's a plan. All right, our warm-up question today is what other countries' breakfasts do you know about? And please describe them. Interesting. So an international breakfast tour.
I actually, when I went to Singapore and Malaysia, I had this.
Never been there.
And
do they have?
I was in love with it immediately. Bak kut teh,
Oh,
肉
bak
骨
kut teh.
茶.
Okay, I've heard of that.
Yeah.
What exactly is it, though? I couldn't
It's a
tell
pork rib dish served in broth.
Oh.
Yeah, and
So it's kind of a soup with a pork rib.
Pork rib.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's basically literally meat bone tea. Bak kut teh.
Meat bone tea, of course.
And they actually simmer in a broth of herbs and spices for hours. That's why the soup is really good.
And the meat must be super soft at that
对
point.
巴克德的肉都是入口即化
Interesting.
And they have it with like if you want congee you can or rice.
Okay.
So it's quite full when you finish
Interesting.
breakfast.
I mean, for Western people, having pork rib soup for breakfast
Yeah, I
might
know.
be a little weird, but
a little bit
really
too
you have a
much.
lot of protein in there, right? It won't kind of fill you up with like bread, like a donut or something. It could actually be very good for you, but I think for many Westerners, it's like pork ribs, that's for barbecue, not for breakfast.
Oh, I see.
But, you know, it could be interesting. Of course, I am a big fan of the continental breakfast. That's sort of the lighter European breakfast.
Yes.
Not bacon and eggs, not that English style.
Sour?
More like croissants, some fruit, some butter, some jam, you know, things like that. It's very quick. It's convenient. You don't have to cook much. And it's one you can find very, very commonly in hotels all over the world.
Yes.
The continental breakfast. A kind of like more European style with fresh fruit and bread and stuff like that. How about you guys? Are there some breakfasts from around the world that you've tried or maybe seen on TV that you think, hey, I'd like to try that one morning? Anyways, we're going to get back to our dialogue, so let's find out more about Simon and Lucia and their adventures in breakfasting. Is that a word?
Culture shock! The most important meal of the day. Warm-up question. What other countries' breakfasts do you know about? Describe them.
I'm so full. That radish cake was really good.
I'm glad you liked it. Taiwanese breakfasts are famous.
But hash browns and chicken nuggets don't feel very Taiwanese.
Those are probably American influences. A modern Taiwanese breakfast is a mix of Eastern and Western foods.
Interesting.
What's a British breakfast like?
Oh, the best thing ever. Eggs, bangers, bacon, hash browns and toast, tomatoes, mushrooms, black pudding.
That's a lot of meat to eat in the morning. What's black pudding?
It's a salty cake. We use pig's blood and flour to make it. It's quite similar to Taiwan's pig blood cake.
I'd like to try it one day.
British versus
American English.
banger.
Sausage.
Okay, so we're back with Simon and Lucia. They are just finishing their breakfast. Wow, that must have taken hours because they ordered so much food. Remember, they had the egg pancake, they had the hash browns, they had the chicken nuggets. I think he ordered a turkey at some point. They had a big old breakfast. Well, Simon had a big old breakfast. Lucia was kind of like, slow down. But anyways, the food was great, and so it seems they enjoyed it. Breakfast is over, and we can see in our picture there's Simon and Lucia. They have bulging stomachs. Those are not babies. They're breakfast babies.
So
but not
cute.
real babies. Yes. Anyway, so they're very full. In other words, they ate a lot. And that's what Simon says. I'm so full. More like, I'm so full. So he's eaten a lot. His stomach is full. He has that feeling of no more food can fit in me. Must stop eating. So that's the feeling he has now. But he has no regrets. He doesn't feel bad about this. He says that radish cake was really good. If he had a little bit more space, he would probably have another one.
Oh my goodness.
Too full.
所以一开始我们看到两个人的肚子鼓鼓的，刚刚 Mike 很可爱的比喻说 they had a baby stomach， 就是肚子好像装了 breakfast baby sorry， 对，好像肚子里面有装宝宝，意思就是他们肚子胀了，很饱，所以一开始他们就会说 I'm so full， 或者是 I'm stuffed， 就是肚子塞饱饱的意思。原来呢 Simon 他觉得萝卜糕是超好吃的。I was surprised he liked the radish cake. Yeah, actually, a lot of things might make me full easily, like rice dumplings. 我觉得粽子 they make me full very easily.
Things with bread can make like pasta also. That can make you feel full a lot. Or things that are very rich. Also, if there's if there's a lot of fat in it or something like that, definitely cannot make you feel so good after you finish it. Anyways, Lucia, she's full too. She's glad that Simon had a good time, and she says, I'm glad you liked it. Remember, that I think was the first time he'd had robogao, so she's like, I'm glad you liked it. It was a bit of a chance. Maybe you'd say, ooh, disgusting, but no, he really liked it, so that makes her happy. And then she says, Taiwanese breakfasts are famous. Yeah, they really are. I mean, I think there's places in New York City and stuff that serve kind of a Taiwanese style breakfast. So I think they're famous here, of course, and they're getting more popular all around the world.
Great. 那 Lucia 当然很开心说，我很开心你很爱吃这个萝卜糕，台湾早餐很有名耶。OK， 其实我觉得台湾不只是早餐。Taiwan has a lot of other great foods or snacks like stinky tofu. Don't know if you like it, or oyster omelet, oaten, papaya milk.
Oh, I love papaya milk.
木瓜牛奶我超爱的。
For sure.
Oh, great. I'm glad you like all of them. Well, most of them.
Wabao and things like that. They're getting popular around the world as well, too. Anyways, Simon then says, but hash browns and chicken nuggets don't feel very Taiwanese.
I agree.
That is true. There is sort of this foreign fast food influence to a Taiwanese breakfast. When I first came here, I asked a little kid in my class, what do you eat for breakfast? I thought he might say, cereal or toast. He said, I have a hamburger. And in my mind, his parents were taking him to Burger King and getting like a big cheeseburger for breakfast. I was like, what are you? That's not good. But of course, it's slightly different, right? But there is, you can see a lot of classic fast food things like chicken nuggets, French fries, burgers and stuff. And sometimes, you're like, that's not really Taiwanese. But when you put it alongside the robogao and the youtiao and stuff, you get a nice combination.
对啊，可是之后 Simon 他就觉得很疑惑，他想说台湾早餐，但是他觉得 他点的薯饼还有鸡块，感觉没有很台式早餐呢。And Lucia will explain why is that.
Right, yeah. Why do we have these Taiwanese things and these sort of classic fast food things at the same time in a restaurant? Well, Lucia has a good explanation. She says those are probably American influences, right? American soldiers were here for a long time. Taiwan's often looked to America for styles and sports and foods, and people here love a lot of that stuff. She says a modern Taiwanese breakfast is a mix of Eastern and Western foods. Yeah, it wasn't this way maybe 100 years ago, of course, but for the past 40, 50 years, people here love to be able to have both of those things at the same time if they want.
Great.
Why not?
可能是受到美国人的影响哦，所以他们才会很喜欢这个西方的食物。那现在的台湾早餐其实就是东西方哦，就有点混搭的感觉。Eastern 就是东方的这个形容词 ，Western 就是西方的，也是一个形容词。
All right, well, this is kind of new. You know, Simon never really thought about these things in the breakfast menu in Taiwan. So he says, interesting. He's kind of learned something new, and that's interesting. And Lucia, she has a question for him on the same topic. What's a British breakfast like? Oh,
Good question.
Okay, that is a good question.
所以 What is something or somebody like 就是在问说这个人或者这个东西是怎么样的呢 OK 跟喜欢 like 是没有关联的哦。那前面刚刚 Simon 是说 interesting 这里是有着哦原来如此哦，因为他学到一个新的一个他之前不知道的事情。那 Lucia 很好奇英式早餐又是如何呢 And
Well, Simon is a fan of Taiwanese breakfasts, but maybe he's even more a fan of his hometown English British breakfast. He says it's the best thing ever. In other words, I love it. It's so good. And then he goes on to describe what you would typically find. And this is all on one plate. This is not all a choice in the restaurant. This will all be on your one plate.
Wow.
Eggs, bangers, bacon, hash browns and toast, tomatoes, mushrooms, black pudding, and depending on where you are, you'll find other things on there. It is called the full English because you will be very full. I'm not sure that's why, but you will be very full after you finish. It's definitely more than a light continental breakfast.
哇，真的吃的好像会一定超饱的那一种，所以难怪他问他说：“哎，那个英式早餐如何？”他就说最好吃的那种。Yeah, OK， 它有什么呢？有蛋啊。Banger 大家可能会觉得是什么呢？它是 British 的 sausage， 就是 sausage 是美式说法，就是香肠啦，还有培根、薯饼、烤吐司或者是烤面包，还有这个番茄、香菇。但是 black pudding 先卖个关子，因为待会 Simon 就会解释。
Yeah, a little bit different than what you might think a pudding is. So we see a picture there, and Simon is salivating as he imagines a full English breakfast. Water is coming out of his mouth. It's so good. I can't wait to have one. It's so delicious.
怎么办 ？Simon 现在已经越讲越流口水了。We know saliva 就是口水 ，salivating 就是他已经在流口水了。
Exactly, that thing that happens when you smell food and you're so hungry. Lucia's listened to this list of food and maybe even, you know, kind of imagines the same picture Simon is seeing. So she says that's a lot of meat to eat in the morning. Yeah, that's a really good point with the bangers and the bacon and all the other stuff. It is quite a lot of meat to eat in the morning. And then she has a question. There's one thing on that list that she didn't quite understand right away. What's black pudding, right? Because you might think, is that like the dessert part? Is it sweet? Is it like a chocolate pudding? That's why it's black? It's nothing like that at all. In fact, Simon describes it as it's a salty cake. It's a salty cake, or it's a savory cake. And how do you make this savory cake? With things you wouldn't expect to find in a cake. We use pig's blood and flour to make it.
Ew.
Yeah, so it's more meat, basically, I guess you could think of it that way.
好，所以先回到刚刚他提到这个 Lucia 说，哇，你早餐也吃太多肉了吧，有点肉多多的概念哦。那不过他这时候一定很好奇 ，black pudding 该不会是那个黑糖布丁？到底是什么东东啊？原来Simon解释说它是咸的 black pudding 哦。我们是用猪血跟这个面粉制作。那我有去查了一下 ，black pudding 就是将洋葱、肥绞肉、麦片或者是生米，然后还有人会加马铃薯，然后以及特殊的调味料。跟通常是猪血或是动物的血混在一起搅拌之后，做成西式香肠的那个形状，然后用煎或是煮，然后就食用。I just kind of want to explain this deeper. Yeah.
Well, it's actually not too strange, I think, for people from Taiwan. I know Americans, pig's blood, they won't eat it. It's actually not that bad. It doesn't look like blood. It's not wet. It's kind of dry. And as Simon says, for people here in Taiwan, it probably isn't that strange. He says it's quite similar to Taiwan's pig blood cake. I mean, it is. You don't put the peanut powder on it, but it's kind of made of the same thing. So I think if you can eat one, you can eat the other, because for Taiwanese people, that's not too scary. And anyways, Lucia, she's thinking, okay, I'd like to try it one day. She doesn't immediately go, oh, no way, I'll never eat that. She's like, oh, well, that sounds pretty similar. I'd like to try it one day. Good for you, Lucia. You won't regret it.
Wow, OK, 所以 Simon 就说，其实它跟这个猪血糕有点类似哦。所以这时候听到猪血糕 ，Lucia 就说，那改天我也想要试试看当我们用到这个句型，就是 A is similar to B， 就是 A 跟 B 有点类似相似。举例来说 ，Your idea is quite similar to mine. Great minds think alike.
There you go.
OK， 好啊，那接着呢，当然 Laura 还要再补充教大家更好玩有趣的英文哦。今天 Laura 要教大家，如果你们去点餐的时候，可能会有一些特殊要求，那要怎么样用英文表达呢？像是呢，如果你有跟 Laura 一样有选择障碍，然后再看那个菜单，就可能说 Can I have a few more minutes？ 跟这个服务生或是要点餐的人员说，可以再给我几分钟吗 ？Or Can you come back later for our order？还记不记得 order 这个字 ？OK， 就是点餐。你可以稍后再回来帮我们点餐吗？那如果你餐点需要加一些特别的料啊，或是酱啊，你可以这么说 ：Please add more ketchup to my burger, thanks, or thank you. OK， 请帮我的汉堡多加一点番茄酱，谢谢。但是如果相反的呢？你说，拜托不要加什么东西，像是我真的。这个有点挑食，但是我不太喜欢洋葱这个东西，我就可能会说 Please don't add onions to my burger。你们也可以把 onions 代换成你们不想要加的东西哦，就是我的汉堡，请不要加洋葱。还有什么其他的需求可能会问到？像是呢，有一些餐厅你们可以续杯这个饮料，那个英文要怎么讲？就是 refill。Can I have a refill？ 就是我可以续杯吗？或者像是有时候我想要加辣椒酱啊，或者是酱油，可是我可能不想要它太多，我想要放在边边，我就可以这么说 I would like to have the soy sauce or the chili sauce on the side of my hot plate noodles。可不可以帮这个酱油或是辣椒酱放在铁板面的旁边呢？边边呢？那如果像我个人，我喜欢蛋黄要半熟，英文就是这么说啦 I would like my egg over easy， OK， 就是不要煎太熟。OK， 那再来呢，我们来看一下刚刚是不是有提到肚子很饱的说法？那除了用 I'm full， 我们也可以用 I'm stuffed。OK，I'm stuffed 就是超级无敌饱这样子的意思。或者你可以说 Thank you, I couldn't eat another bite. It was all so good. 意思就是说你如果叫我再吃一口的话，我可能会饱到想吐，我真的无法再吃另外一口了。另外呢，你还可以说 I have had more than enough already. I just can't eat anymore. 我已经尽量吃了很多了，超饱的啦，真的已经不行了。OK， 那当然呢，讲到这个很饱的话，我们就要进行我们的 word power。刚好第一个字就是 full， 还记得吗？这个形容词就是饱的。我们来看一下单字例句。Jerry can't eat any more popcorn because he is full. Jerry 吃不下更多爆米花了，因为他已经很饱了。爆米花真的很容易饱再 再来还有 glad，OK， 就是高兴的，它是一个形容词。像是呢，如果你送一个礼物，哇，然后对方很喜欢，你可能就会说 I'm glad you like the present， 我好开心你喜欢这个礼物。我们来看一下单字例句要怎么用。The test was difficult, so I'm glad I passed it. 这次考试很难，所以我很高兴我通过了，及格。Probably 这个副词就是有可能、大概的意思。我们来看一下例句要怎么用。There are gray clouds in the sky. It's probably going to rain soon. 天空中乌云密布，可能马上就要下雨咯。最后我们来看到的是 meat 这个字，它就是肉。你们喜欢吃哪种肉呢？是牛肉吗 ？Beef 还是鸡肉 ？Chicken 或者是 pork 猪肉，还是 lamb 羊肉呢？我们来看一下单字例句要怎么用。Ray likes to eat meat. For example, beef is his favorite. Ray 喜欢吃肉，举例来说，牛肉是他的最爱哦。Okay, that's the end of today's article. Let's now go to Magic Box.
Magic Box.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Isaac。在今天的课文当中呢，Lucia 问 Simon 说 ，What's a British breakfast like？ 这个英式早餐如何呢？这一句里面的这个 What is something 或者是 somebody like， 表示的意思呢，就是指什么东西怎么样。那在这边的这个句子里面的这个 like 本身呢是当做一个介系词，表示像点点点。其实这个用法呢蛮常出现在如果我们今天要问别人，就是你要问他的天气状况的时候，那我们就会用这样的一个用法哦。比方说呢，就是你问你朋友说，今天天气如何呢 ？What is the weather like today？ 那回答我们就会是，比如说 It's windy but sunny， 天气很好，不过呢就是风有点大。但是如果今天没有介系词的话呢，单纯只有问 What is something， 则是要表示就是你要问这个东西是什么。像是呢 What is EC card？ 什么是悠游卡？那你在回答的时候呢，你就是要去解释这个东西是什么。比方像是呢 You can use it when you take public transport， 你会搭乘大众运输的时候呢，就是用到这个 EC card。那再来呢，今天的这个第二个 Magic Box 要来介绍给你们的就是 A 加上一个 be 动词，后面呢搭配 similar to B。这边有个片语呢，表示的意思呢就是 A 与 B 相似哦。那这边的这个 similar 呢，是当做一个形容词，表示相似的。例如呢，你朋友呢买了一只跟你长得很像的手机，这时候呢，你就可以说 Your cell phone is similar to mine。那如果今天你要表示两个东西长得一模一样的话呢，我们则就是必须要使用 A 加上一个 be 动词的 same as， 后面加上一个第二个主词哦。所以呢，刚刚那句话呢，如果改成Your cell phone is the same as mine， 意思呢表示就是你的手机跟我买的是一样的哦。好啦，那今天的 Magic Box 就到这边，我们下次见，拜拜。
Review time.
Hello everyone, we're going to do a review time before we go, and we have very little time, so we have to go fast, and the 4 new words we learned today are full, glad, probably, meet. So now we're going to do a game of opposites. I'm going to say a word, and it's going to be the opposite to one of the words on our list. Are you ready to go?
Yes.
Bone.
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 骨头呢就是肉 meat.
Yeah, meat and bone.
Yeah.
You eat the meat, you don't eat the bone. Unhappy.
Oh, you're not glad.
I'm not glad. I'm unhappy. Empty.
Empty 当然就是 full.
Right. And no way, never, impossible. I'm not going to do
Probably.
it. I probably will do it, actually. I changed my mind. Okay, thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you soon. Don't forget to eat breakfast, but don't eat too much. Bye.
Bye.
Culture shock. The most important meal of the day. Warm-up question. What other countries' breakfasts do you know about? Describe them.
I'm so full. That radish cake was really good.
I'm glad you liked it. Taiwanese breakfasts are famous.
But hash browns and chicken nuggets don't feel very Taiwanese.
Those Those are probably American influences. A modern Taiwanese breakfast is a mix of Eastern and Western foods.
Interesting.
What's a British breakfast like?
Oh, the best thing ever. Eggs, bangers, bacon, hash browns and toast, tomatoes, mushrooms, black pudding.
That's a lot of meat to eat in the morning. What's black pudding?
It's a salty cake. We use pig's blood and flour to make it. It's quite similar to Taiwan's pig blood cake.
I'd like to try it one day.
British versus
American English.
banger.
Sausage. Word power.
Full. Full. Jerry can't eat any more popcorn because he is full. Jerry can't eat any more popcorn because he is full. Glad. Glad. The test was difficult, so I'm glad I passed it. The test was difficult, so I'm glad I passed it. Probably. Probably. There are gray clouds in the sky. It's probably going to rain soon. There are gray clouds in the sky. It's probably going to rain soon. Meat. Meat. Ray likes to eat meat. For example, beef is his favorite. Ray likes to eat meat. For example, beef is his favorite.
认识字汇
Eastern. Eastern. Western. Western.